Happy holidays, guys. How's it going? Today we're going over a pretty simple bass to make, but it's pretty effective for throwing under other sounds or just getting a lot of grit on your low end, and it sounds a little bit like this. So what's cool about this sound is that the foundation is very easy. I mean, we're using sine waves, for instance, and we're just gonna get a low moving ramp going in order to kind of bring the FM over time with this distorted sine wave with some white noise. So I have this on 3 unison. I'm gonna go ahead and just start throwing this ramp, which we're gonna go ahead and put on 1/2 right here and trigger, and just start throwing it on things. You can be really experimental because the foundation is so simple. Since we're doing FM, I'm gonna knock this down to -3 and this down to -1, turn this off, and get our FM from B going on 20%, and throw it on right here for, like, let's say just 17. You can do whatever. It doesn't really. It's just whatever sounds good for the context of your song. And we have super simple so far. And what we're going to do to really boost that up, and this is something I've kind of learned from playing with Odd Profits patches, is just throwing on a band notch or band pass notch and just really getting the drive and resonance going along those lower frequencies before you send it through a distortion and a compressor. And you can just throw it on, like, let's say anywhere around like 60 to 70 and slowly just have it move up that range. Doesn't have to be too, yeah, anything like that's fine. And then you can also have, let's say, the frequency right here going down, let's say like that. And while we're doing it, crank this up to 1/8. Get a little bit more movement going. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to turn on a bit of noise. Let's just say like 8. That might be too much, but we're going to find out later. And then what we're going to do is just turn on distortion in 95 and throw on a compressor and turn on the multiband. And already you kind of have a great thing going on. Now you can play around with other things. You can, for instance, have a notch sweep through. Let's say we have like a notch sweeping through, or play around with stuff. You can even have it be a peak if you want more vowel out of it. Maybe a little. There you go. You can clink this up just to. It's kind of like a foghorn almost, but I don't use it for that. I throw it under sounds and basses. And that's kind of it. You can also do cool things like maybe just use a different wavetable. Like, let's try this one and just. Yeah, and here's where you can really play with the squelch of the first part of the sound is really dependent on where you have your frequencies moving. So yeah, just play around with stuff like that. Having the white noise go through distortion and the compressor really brings out the grittiness of that. And that kind of just sums up the sound. Pretty straightforward. If you're interested in getting this preset and all of my other presets, consider following me on Patreon. For just $3, you can get access to every single preset that I've made, plus a bunch of extras you haven't seen behind the scenes. If you want to just pay the $3 and dip, there's no obligation. You can get access to everything I've created so far for just $3. I also have a Discord community where we can talk, drop samples, presets, and other cool things. Go ahead and come in and drop your music and see what other people have to say. Other than that, hope you have a great holiday.